Dear students, today let us have an introduction on what is this thing called internet. We are actually living in a world of internet. Today, without internet, life is proved to be impossible. Let us see what makes this internet today. We'll try to see a history of internet, how it was launched. You might already know that it is begun with ARPANET, a project by the US government, and we'll also see the kind of internet connections that are possible in our daily environment. So when we try to see internet, there are number of things which comes to our mind. What is basically this network? Internet. It is a global system of interconnected computer networks. It makes use of standard internet protocol. Say there are two protocols available: TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, and IP, Internet Protocol. These two protocols are used for making legal procedures through interconnected computer networks. There are billions of users worldwide who serve data to the users of internet. Internet can be called as a network of networks. It carries an extensive range of information, resources and services such as the interlinked hypertext documents and applications of the World Wide Web, WWW, the infrastructure to support email and peer-to-peer networks for the file sharing and internet telephony. So there are various services offered by internet. So we are familiar with many of these hypertext technologies. So we have the basic language of the internet introduced through web browsers, HTTP. Hypertext, can you feel it? Hypertext, HTTP. It's actually programming language. So we have the World Wide Web. The World Wide Web is referred as WWW. So there are many surveys which start with WWW, and there are many others which start with HTTP or HTTPS. So HTTPS refers to secured surveys. In order to log into those surveys, we need username and password. And there are, of course, email services, file sharing, internet telephony services available. As we go ahead, we can see the kind of internet uses which can be mapped. It is technically called network mapping or internet map. So there are many Facebook users, many social network users, there are many messaging services, there are many content repositories like Flickr, social services like Twitter, Facebook, and there are also many commercial websites which concentrate on various services. Walmart, all of you are familiar with Amazon, Flipkart, etc. The amount of people using various internet services is actually getting increased on a daily basis. So internet has actually revolutionized the whole world and the communications all around us. So there are innumerable changes that we come across with the traditional kinds of communication media. Traditionally we had only telephone or television services, and even television services are being redefined with the advent of internet technologies today. Internet actually gave rise to services such as Voice over Internet Protocol, so VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, or IPTV. This is a modern invention, IPTV, Internet Protocol TV, television services. Newspaper publishing has been undertaken by many internet services. For each website, for each company owned for news services, we have particular websites assigned to them. And there are also blogging as well as web feeding services enabled by these authors. And internet also helped for the creation of new forms of human interactions like instant messaging, internet forums, social networking sites, etc. So in a way, internet has brought the whole world into the folds of our hands. Today, everything is possible through internet. Say, even the online class that we have right now is actually an example for internet service. Without this internet, it is impossible to have any kind of services. Not only our classes, online classes, but also many services like banking, or if you like to apply for a certificate. Today we have online certifications enabled by the government departments. If you want to get an income certificate from your village, local panchayat, you can get it by an online application. Even ration cards can be applied through online. So we depend on internet for various services. Now let us have a brief history of the internet. The origin of the internet actually dates back to the 1960s. It was actually the time of Cold War. So here we come to see what is called ARPANET, the Advanced Research Project Agency, ARPA, of the US Defense Department. They funded a project called ARPANET. This was actually the beginning of the internet services. This was done in response to the threat of possible nuclear attack by the Soviet Union. The project was to connect university scientists and engineers together via their computers and telephone lines. It incorporated the use of email and helped them communicate with each other. So internet services could be started earlier for making use of military services. So internet has its beginning from such a military environment. From this humble beginning, more networks were formed. Then it got its name, the internet, which is coined from the words interconnections and network. The standard transmission control protocol TCP, and addressing protocol called internet protocol IP, and these were developed in 1975. In 1992, the World Wide Web was introduced to internet by Tim Berners-Lee. It uses a graphical hypertext method of creating and accessing documents. So today we have world internet users mapped here, wherein Asia has 42%, Europe has 24%, likewise. So there are many users of internet. This is what the graph shows. Internet has no centralized governance. The internet backbone through which internet traffic flows is owned by private companies. Today, via internet, a user can get information about anything and all these at no charge. The only charges the user has to pay are the internet service provider and telephone company, and these at minimal rate. So we have to get accommodated familiar with the term ISP. Without ISPs, it is not possible for us to access internet services. ISPs actually provide internet services to its users. There are many ISPs that we are daily in contact with. For example, Reliance Jio is actually an ISP, internet service provider. Or other internet service providers are Idea, recently known as VI, Vodafone Idea Networks, or there are many other services by cable television networks. Asianet internet services is an example for cable TV service. So what are the contents of the key layers of the internet? So internet has a lot of components to support itself. It has basically the content repository. So we have a special lesson on content repositories. And there are also search engines. The biggest search engine is owned by Google. Besides Google, there are many other search engines, Bing, or we have Yahoo search engine, Rediff search engine. These are popular search engines in the internet. There are many browsers there are Chrome browsers are there, Internet Explorers are there, navigators are there. Say most of you are familiar with Mozilla Firefox browser. And World Wide Web, begun by Tim Berners-Lee, refers to www and its services. So, and it actually accounts for internet, many networks with the use of a lot of computers. So, let us try to see how can we get connected to these networks. Say to get connected to these networks, we need to have internet connectivity services. So, in an internet, what happens in an internet minute? In an internet minute, so there are millions of transactions that are growing, that are encountered or done. So, each time when we log into YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Flickr, LinkedIn, and many other services like Amazon, Flipkart, etc., there are a lot of transactions going ahead. So there are a number of actions that can be counted on an internet. Now, in order to get connected to internet, there are basically 4 things are required. What are these 4 things? So basically a computer with a fast processor and lots of memory, we say RAM, and a modem, and a browser software is required with the services of an ISP, Internet Service Provider. So with these things, it is easier for us to get connected. Today, most of us connect internet through our mobile phones instead of a computer. Okay, and with the SIMs enabled in our phones, we can easily get connected with internet service providers and their services to the internet. Now, how does this internet works? So we are accessing perhaps internet through our computers or mobile phones, and there are modems, and from modems we have the release of data packets, and there are many routers, and routers redirect us to domain name service, DNS, and it again refers to ISPs, Internet Service Providers. Then there is access of the actual web server. So we have to go through these channels to get to know the internet, that the content that we access. The first and the most complicated is the dialer or socket software, which makes the physical connection to the ISP's computer and the internet. So earlier we had to make many dialing services. Okay, dial-up services were there in order to get connected to the world of internet. This needs to be configured only once. Instructions will be given, and those instructions will be different for each internet service provider. The second piece is an internet browser. This locates websites for you and allows users to surf the World Wide Web and view web pages. Type the URL or web address of the website you want in the address bar of your browser and press enter or click go. So this is the normal procedure. You can just think of the way in which you log in yourselves to our Linux platform, and we can perhaps make added services of making favorite web pages or giving bookmarks to those web pages we like. So next comes the email program. It controls sending, composing, and receiving email. Once you are connected, you will have access to email, news groups, World Wide Web, file transfer protocols, FTPs, internet chat relays, IRCs, search engines, and other internet services. So here let us have a look at the common home setups for internet. Say dial-up modems were initially used in the beginning, which can be used with a single PC for temporary internet connection, and there will be a dynamically assigned internet protocol number, IP address. And with the dial-up modems, we advanced to broadband modems. Thereafter, we switched to Ethernet hub switches. Then we have references to internet gateway routers. With the broadband